Alright, so now that we've come out of the intro, we're going to be moving into the verse. The verse is very straightforward. It's actually going to be the exact same pattern we were playing for the second half of the intro, or the heavier part. The only difference is it's going to be really lightly palm muted. Keep in mind while we're going through this, you're going to really want to play the strings lightly because it's very quiet in the recording, and you kind of want to keep that feel so that it sounds like the song is getting heavier as you're moving along. Just to play through what I'm talking about, it's going to sound like this. Keep in mind when you get to the part where we're sliding the octaves rooted on the 5th string that you're not going to be playing the actual octaves, you're just going to be playing the root with your index finger, and you're going to be sliding that. So that's just going to be, again, the 3rd fret of the 5th string sliding to the 6th, and that's all you're going to be playing. You're going to repeat that pattern a couple times. I don't exactly remember off the top of my head how many, but you can just listen to the recording to find that out. And then we're going to be moving into the pre-chorus, and really all that's going to be is it's going to be opening up the palm mutes and then playing a series of stabs, if you will. Just to show you what I'm talking about, when we get here to the part that's rooted on the 5th string, we're going to play the octaves again. We're going to slide up to the 6th fret. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pick the palm muted low strings, the 6th, the 5th, and the 4th. And then we're going to be playing the 6th fret of the 5th string and the 8th fret of the 4th string. Shape right there. We're not going to keep our finger down on the octave because that's not the sound we're going for. It's just going to be those two fingers, and you're going to alternate between that and the palm mutes or the stabs. I think that because of the way they're sounding, it's kind of percussive. I've seen it described as that, and I think that's kind of the easiest way to think about it. That's what I'm going to be referring to this section as. After you go through that pattern a couple times, you're going to slide this exact same shape down to the 3rd fret of the 5th string and the 5th fret of the 4th string, and kind of rapidly pick through that a few times. Just play through the very end of the verse, going into the pre-chorus. It's going to sound something like this. And that is going to lead us into the chorus. The chorus is really straightforward too. What you're going to do for that is you're going to make a barred power chord on the 8th fret of the 6th string, 8th fret of the 5th string, 8th fret of the 4th string. Just like that. You're going to hold that out for a measure, and then for the next measure you're going to keep pretty much the same shape, but there's going to be a slight change. We're going to make a kind of a funky chord here. We're going to keep the 8th fret of the 6th string, but then we're going to play the 7th fret of the 5th string, which is kind of strange. And then we're going to also keep the 8th fret of the 4th string. That chord is going to sound like... You can hear it's got kind of a dissonant quality to it. It's kind of strange, but it also sounds pretty cool. After that, we're going to just make a 7th fret barred power chord as well. 7th of the 6th, 7th on the 5th, and 7 on the 4th. And we're going to let that ring. After all of that, we're going to go into the first part of the intro, actually, the heavier part that was all on the low 6th string, and we're going to just play that through, and we're going to cycle through that entire thing a couple of times before we get back into the section that's going to lead us into verse 2. So just so you guys hear kind of what I'm talking about, it's going to sound something like... So on the third time through, you guys noticed a little bit of a change. What we're going to be doing there is the first part is going to stay the same, that part, but then we're going to go to the 5th fret of the 6th string and make a power chord there, so just like that, and maybe pick out the 7th fret of the 3rd string afterwards just to let it ring, something like that. And then we're gonna play the stabs again, the stabs that led us into the chorus, and we're going to play through that, and that's gonna lead us into verse 2. Verse 2 is going to be exactly the same as verse 1, but we're gonna kind of change the feel of it a little by attacking the low 6th string a lot more than we were in the first verse. In the first verse we were kind of just playing trying to play really quietly, and in this one you really kind of want to be aggressive to make it give kind of a different quality to the second verse. The second verse is exactly the same. That's going to lead us into the chorus, which is exactly the same, and then we're going to be moving into a very long bridge section.